Well, good morning. Today is Monday, April 3rd. It's time for our weekly meeting highlights. It's a new month. Obviously, it's April. This month's topic is keeping your journey exciting. After a while, I've been on this plan since December 31st, 2016. It's kind of hard to get excited about anything every once in a while, but we'll see what they have to say. Today is the 6th week that I've done no weigh-in. I gave up the scale for Lent. I have found myself to be more relaxed. I approach my journey a lot better with a lot better attitude. I'm taking cues from my body. I'm only eating when I'm hungry. Some days are a little heavier on carbs than other days. Some days are a little heavier on fruit. All in all, I think I've done really well. My plan for the 7 weeks of no weigh-in is to lose a pound a week. So I am hoping when I get on the scale next week that I've lost 7 pounds. I'll be a little disappointed if I don't, but I won't be discouraged because I really, truly, in my heart of hearts, feel like I've lost 7 pounds. I can feel it in my clothes. I can feel it in my movement, just my whole attitude, my sleeping, all of that stuff. So I'm very highly anticipating a 7-pound loss next week. So tune in again next week because next week will be the reveal of how I did because I really do think I did well. I really do. But how did you guys do? I'm just kind of curious. I usually ask you at the end, but I'm going to ask you at the beginning. And do you think that this is a mistake that I've made? It's a 6-week mistake if I've made it. So it's kind of hard to turn back the clock now. But what are your thoughts on my process? Do you feel me to be, if you watch my daily vlog, do you feel me to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more optimistic about my journey? Or do you think I'm the same? I'm just kind of curious because I'm going to judge how I do on the scale next week, whether or not I'm going to weigh myself every week because I don't know. I don't want to completely ignore the scale, but we have to remember it's just a tool to remind you of how you're doing. But it doesn't always tell you exactly the truth because some weeks you could be doing really well and the scale's just not going to show it. And other weeks you're going to do really poorly and the scale's going to fool you and to make you think that you did better than you did. So anyway, I'm just kind of curious about your opinions on that matter. So anyway, let's get to the topic this week is how to make healthy eating more exciting. Dinners at your favorite restaurant, weekend brunch with family, some meals just feel different. Let's help you bring that special event energy to your nutritious go-tos. We all know that the reason food at a restaurant tastes better is because they're using butters that you're not using. They're using special sauces that you're not using. They're using seasonings that you're not using. And if you're getting any kind of a burger or something, they're frying on a grill that's been very well seasoned. So it only stands to reason that the takeout food is going to taste a little bit better. Now, I'm not saying all takeout food tastes a little bit better, but when you go to a restaurant, for the amount of money you paid, they want to make sure they give you a good meal and they want to make sure you come back. So they're going to use their best ingredients, and you'd be surprised. Sometimes you might think that, like you might have a really good juicy burger and you think this is a really good burger, and then it might turn out that it's more fat. That's why it's a burger that's a little bit juicier. But anyway, and then like birthdays and stuff, sometimes like brunches, like I'm going to my son's house for an Easter brunch on Easter Sunday, and sometimes you tend to eat a little bit more because there's so many offerings of different foods that you can eat, and but make smart choices, I guess is like the point of it, and make it seem a little bit more festive. Well, we'll get into that. Number one thing that they say is to make your meal sound delicious. Call it something you'd order from a restaurant. Just don't call it like, well, we're going to have chicken tonight. Like I make a copycat Alice's Spring Chicken. Just say, you know what, tonight I'm going to have Alice's Spring Chicken for dinner. Now, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I do like it. But the chicken at the Outback, the Alice's Spring Chicken, tastes a little bit better. The copycat one I make comes pretty darn close. But, and then let's all face it, it's always better if someone else prepares the meal. It just really is. It's just because you're a little bit more relaxed and you don't have to worry about it. And then on top of it, if you're a good cook, you taste along the way because you want to make sure you're using the right seasonings and stuff. And sometimes it just kind of takes your appetite away and you don't really enjoy it as much as you would at a restaurant where you're anticipating and you're waiting for it to be served to you. If it's not just a salad, don't call it just a salad. You've seen my salads. It's like, I always think of Lori, no, what's it? Oh, I can't think of her name. Elaine on Seinfeld, when she went to the restaurant to get the big salad, and she had it in a big salad bowl that looked like it could serve like 5 or 6 people. If you've seen my salads, you can see that they're pretty big. But my salads, I build up my salads. And my salads, like people would think, oh, you're having a salad for dinner. That's not very nutritious. And, like that's not really a lot of points or calories. Oh, it is. Because on my salad, I like to add a little bit of cheese, whether it's feta cheese or provolone cheese or some Swiss cheese or mozzarella cheese. I always add an ounce of cheese. So that's 4 or 5 points right there. I like to put a couple olives. 6 olives is 1 point. So I put like 6 olives. So that's another point. I also like to put some dried cranberries in it, which is another 3 or 4 points, depending on how much you use. The dressing, I use, I like the Olive Garden dressing. I don't like the light. And for 1 point, I'm just going to use the regular Olive Garden dressing, because like the low-fat Olive Garden dressing is 2 points, but the full regular Olive Garden is 3 points. I'll just use the extra point. What else do I put on and then my salads, I always use like mixed greens, and I use field greens, and I put some spinach in there, and I put some cucumbers, and I put some tomatoes. So I really, really bulk it up really big. But by the time I put the dressing in, and I have a side of cottage cheese, because when I put the 2 tablespoons of dressing, my salad is so big, the 2 tablespoons of dressing is just not going to cover all of the lettuce and stuff. So I have a half a cup of cottage cheese, and I kind of mix it in and eat it that way. I don't show you it mixed in because it doesn't look very appetizing, but it stretches my dressing too. So my salads can be like a 10-point, 11-point meal. But, and I never just call it, I always just say it's a massive salad. I never say it's just a salad. I never say, oh, I'm only having a salad. I just always say, I'm having a really good salad. But like I said, I don't like eggs in my salad, but I'll always eat a hard-boiled egg on the side with my salad. So, just think of like when you're having something, try to name it or give it a name, like, oh, Sandy's special sauce or something like that, just to make it a little bit more appetizing. And number 2 is they say, set the table and the scene. Break out the nice dishes, cloth napkins, and background music. Plate your meal as if you were going to photograph it. That's my biggest complaint when I go out to a restaurant. I mean, I've been doing it when I'm showing you my food, just to show you what I'm having. But like when people put things on Facebook, a lot of times it looks prettier in person than it does in the picture, because sometimes people will share a picture on Facebook of a food that they're having, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you're going to eat that? But I'm quite sure that it looked better before they took the picture. So, but I do agree with, like, I don't use paper plates unless I'm having like pizza or something. And even with just pizza, I usually use a regular plate. I have a dishwasher, so it's not really like, and I don't run my dishwasher every day because it's just Jim and I. And so like every 2 or 3 days, so it doesn't matter if the dishes get a little piled up in the dishwasher. Way better than being piled up in the sink. But I do like to use a regular plate. I like to use regular silverware. I use a regular glass. And I don't use my fine china, but I use my best dishes. I really do, because it's like, I just think I'm worth a little bit. And I'm kind of like, with the environment, I kind of like try to scale back a little bit. I don't use paper napkins that often. I pretty much use a cloth napkin. I just throw it in the laundry. But it does, my food does look a little, I do like to make it colorful. If you've seen my plates, I kind of make them festive looking. I like to have like a wide variety of different colors, because I've always heard that the more colors on your plate, that means the healthier your plate is. So, but that doesn't mean like you have a chocolate cake and then like a strawberry donut, no, you got to have like the proper food choices on that. Number 3 is to savor the experience. Sit and eat slowly and mindfully, focusing on your food and company, not TV or TikTok. This is a bad one for me, because other than dinners, Jim and I eat dinner, well, you know what, I can't even say that, because Jim and I eat dinner in the kitchen together, but we have the TV on. But when we have family dinner on Thursdays, no TV, no devices at the table, like that's your time to get to know your cousins, or your, like your in-laws or whatever, because the kids sit at the kids' table in the kitchen, and then the adults sit at the adult table in the dining room. And we're here to talk. You only see us once a week. We're here to talk. You can be on your phones any other time. So the number one rule is no devices at the table. After they're done, they come back here in this room, all the kids do, and then they're on all of their devices. I don't have a problem with that, because that's the way, unfortunately, they communicate. That's the way of the world now. But you know what? I'm still old school. We're going to have a conversation. You're going to talk to me. When you come in the house, you're going to talk to your grandma. And then you can go and do whatever you want on your phone, but you're going to acknowledge your grandmother, and you're going to talk to her for a little bit, and then you're going to say goodbye to her when you leave. So that's just the way it is. But I do watch TV, and but I eat very slowly anyhow. I don't have very many teeth. You have a teeth in the front, not very good ones, but I have teeth in the front, but I don't have very many teeth in the back. So I have to really chew my food. I could get a plate, a partial or whatever like that. My gums are strong enough that I can, look at the size of me. Not having teeth has not kept me from gaining weight. So that is the least of my worries of thinking, I can't eat because I don't have teeth. I just eat a little bit slower, which makes me kind of enjoy my food a little bit longer. It really does. And then now we're going to dive a little deeper. Not every meal has to be a vibe, but you also don't have to just accept it if your healthy eating routine starts to have the same energy as brushing your teeth. Borrowing what makes special meals so fun, festive, and appealing may help restore some of the luster that can get lost over time. During Christmas, during Advent, Jim and I we started this when my children were younger. We always just eat with the Advent candle and the Christmas lights. And now that it's just Jim and I, we still follow the same plan. We've done it for 52, 53 years. 50, we've been married 52 years this year. So we've been doing it for 52 years. It's just kind of nice. It really is. In the winter, when it's like just starting to get dusky, we'll just sit and just enjoy just the atmosphere. But that's just us. That's what we do. So this is what else they're trying to do. So try saving your points-friendly tacos with try serving, not saving. Try serving. We knew we couldn't get a week without me misreading something. I always misread something. So try serving your points-friendly taco with decorative napkins and margarita glasses, or create a romantic candlelight night just to complement Tuesday's Zoodle Primavera, complete with a fancy meal. Research suggests that playing around with ambiance and using sensory or nostalgic words to describe foods can increase how much we enjoy what we eat. Like I said, Christmas time, we just eat with the Christmas lights, and each week we have an extra candle lit for the Advent wreath. The bottom line is your routine and go-to foods keep you on track, but thinking differently about them, or how you serve them, or where or how you eat them, or what you call them, can help things keep things interesting and keep you excited and inspired on your journey. So the 3 fast facts that they're going to give us this week is, number 1, when menus use sensory and descriptive words, people report enjoying foods more often after eating them. Like when you go to the Olive Garden, they don't just say fettuccine Alfredo. They'll say fettuccine and savory Alfredo sauce, or whatever, spaghetti with great big meatballs or something. They do embellish the descriptions of their food. And number 2, when food sits within our reach, we tend to eat more of it than we have to when we have to get up to grab it. I pre-portion my sizes. Lately, I've been buying like little pretzels already prepackaged in the serving size packages. It's way cheaper just to buy them like a big bag and sort them out, which I've done in the past. But I've noticed that when I do that in the past, sometimes some of the bags get a little bit heavier. Like it might be like 29 grams, but it might come up at 31. And I'm thinking, well, it's 31. What's 2 grams? Well, 2 grams is 2 grams. And so I paid a little bit extra to get the little prepackaged items. Plus, it's easier just to grab and go with those too. And you're less tempted to eat like a whole bag of Cheetos. I can very well sit down very easily and eat a whole bag of Cheetos without even thinking. And those are pretty good sized bags. I think there's like 8 servings in a bag. I could sit down and watch TV, which again, mindless eating because you're watching TV. But I could just sit and eat the whole bag of Cheetos and nothing of it. And then lick all the orange gunk off my fingers when I'm done. So it's better just to portion them out, definitely. And number 3, being more present while eating can increase our enjoyment of a meal. Even though I'm watching TV, I really do still enjoy my meals. I really do. But I am not willing to try just eating, because to me it's boring. Unless you're eating with somebody. Now, when you're eating with someone else and you're having the conversation while you're eating, that's entirely different. But I eat most of my meals alone. Jim eats breakfast when he first gets up. I don't eat breakfast till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Jim works afternoons, so when I eat dinner alone. Like I said, unless we're together, and then when we're together, even though the TV's on in the background, we're still carrying on a conversation. So that's the way it is, I guess. But so anyway, I'll ask you again how you did on your weight and how you're doing through this. This week is Holy Week. So probably going to be trying to eat a little bit lighter this week in observance of Holy Week. I'm not going to go starving myself. I had an experience on Good Friday in 2020 where we had to call the 911, the EMS to come because I passed out. It scared the crap out of Jim. So we're not doing that anymore because my plan for all my years was I never ate on Fridays. I just had tea and broth, and that was all I had. But I've reached an age where I can no longer do that. So I will eat, but I'm going to eat very lightly this week. But this month theme, keep your journey exciting. What do you do to keep yours exciting? Do you eat your dinners by candlelight? Do you have the TV in the background? I'm just kind of curious. Am I the only one that just sits and watches TV alone while I'm eating? I'm just wondering. But so that's going to do it for today. So tune in next week. Well, I definitely will have a weigh-in next week. We'll see how I did over the 7 weeks for Lent and what my plan of attack will be for the coming weeks ahead. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button, share if you think somebody might like to see it. I talk to you guys hopefully on my daily vlog, but definitely I'll see you back here next week for the big reveal.